Yeah, James Gannon joining us live in the press box tonight after that goalless draw with Curzon Ashton. Let's talk first of all about today's game, James. I get the sense that you're quite disappointed with that performance today, understandably.
Yeah, there was so much about the week that was positive. There was so much about the game, the build-up to the game that was really good. Lads trained well on Thursday, but you know, maybe Tuesday took a little bit more out of some of them than I expected, because there was some lethargic performances, some tired legs, and some players that just couldn't find another level.
Disappointing though, when you almost hope that the boost of winning that trophy would dismiss all that, then, wouldn't you? Because one or two of them, you know, it should give you a lift.
Yeah, but perhaps if we take, yeah, you're right. It gave everybody an emotional lift. I think today we needed more than that. We needed mental strength and physical strength, and I think perhaps the performance today underlined why we need a major overhaul of the squad. Take some key factors. I didn't think there was any emotional leaders, anybody rallying the boys. I didn't think there was any tactical leaders, people that kind of sensed the flow of the game. You know, if you like, push Brandon in a little bit quicker, go a bit more aggressive in midfield, stop the flow of the game. And then in terms of stamina, in terms of affecting the game, creativity, there were so many bits missing from so many players that hence the reason why we're overhauling the squad.
One player who did perform very well for you today was your goalkeeper, Dean Henderson. I think he made 4 key saves in that game. It could have been a worse day, couldn't it, but for him?
Yeah, it was a big fear of mine that as we were a yard off, we didn't find any adrenaline from anywhere. You could see what they were doing, and we should be reacting to that, filling areas, dropping off a yard, not being turned, and this has been the problem that I've noticed in my time here, that our back four looks vulnerable when opposition play balls. I mean, some of the chances that Dean had to deal with were very defensible. We could have stopped them balls, we could have been quicker to players, right-sided players, but no, incredible saves. I was a little bit disappointed with his distribution in the first half. We couldn't seem to get the team together, but second half he showed his overall qualities. But perhaps that's a testament to, if you like, the under 21 game. He probably rarely plays long, but in terms of shot stopping and even sweeping behind his back four, one of the best performers on the game and deserved man of the match.
It's maybe an unfair question, so I feel quite at liberty to not answer this one, but in terms of your thinking for next season, would you consider trying to get a goalkeeper like Dean for the entire campaign, or would you rather have your own number one?
Well, on the youth loan, you won't get a keeper for the whole season. It's very rare for a club to commit a player like that without a recall. No, I think most importantly, I mean, Dean's a great lad, and he probably would want to come here. I think he's learned so much and grown so much in his time here, and I think it's been great for them. But really, we should be only using loans to fill holes when we do lose players. Taking into account that Danny Hurst was long-term injury, then you can understand that we've had to use quite a few keepers in the time since Danny's been out. So we do need an established number one of our own. We need a good number two to challenge him and occasionally come in and perform well, and I think we've got that at least in Ian, if he can't step up to be a number one. But for me, in terms of the players I'm looking to bring in, I've said consistently that I want good age, good profile, physical, in terms of experience, games played, being successful. So I think there's players out there that we can recruit, both in goal and across the team, that would have a lot more mental strength, a lot more physical strength to play games and to perform well at this club, at this level of football over a course of a season, and that's what it's going to take. We've had form in some of our players, but we haven't seen the class to perform over the whole season, and that's where I think we have to judge players. It's not on a little run of form or one or two moments. We have to judge them on what their contribution has been over the course of the season. And in that regard, there's not been an awful lot of outstanding candidates that you would say he's a top Conference North player.
Having said that, will there still be 1, 2, 3, 4, however many from the current crop that you will offer something to for next season?
Yeah, I'm talking to 2 or 3 players. you know, without being disrespectful to them, it all depends on what recruits we can. I mean, I've been. What I don't want to do is let anybody go that I feel can contribute next season, and then after pleasantly surprised with, say for example, how Chris Smalley's adapted to this level, John Marsden, and Ryan Ellison's been asked to do a difficult job, but Ryan shows mental strength, physical strength, and he imposed himself on the game again today, and he's been, you know, in the absence of Lewis Montrose or that classic number 4, Ryan's done well. There's a few other players that I think could play in a good Conference North team, but what we want to be aspiring to next year is a great Conference North team.
The conversations you're having at the moment with players who are reaching the end of their contracts elsewhere with other clubs, are you getting positive responses? You'd think you would, given it's Stockport County.
Well, they've been that positive, they've signed. So, no, I mean, it's a long process, if you like, vetting somebody, meeting them, finding out what they're about, watching them consistently. You know, we've got 3 or 4 already over the line. We're talking at the moment with 3 or 4 who have indicated a commitment. There's 2 or 3 other players who are waiting on the outcome of whether their club they're currently out is going to be up or down or full-time or part-time. So, no, we've done some work, and I'm really pleased that we're in a position that we've got 6 good players going forward from the current group. We're going to get a couple more from that. We've got 4 or 5 already committed. So we've got the nucleus of a team. Now we just have to work really hard on the key players that can make a huge difference. You know, the attacking players that can score goals out of nothing, the guys who can consistently over the course of the season be a goal threat or get the team up the pitch. So there's 2 or 3 positions that we have to work really hard now over the next month to make sure that we're in a position that them positions are sealed. At the moment, I'm pleased with the profile of player that we're bringing in across the defence line and the midfield line. Now we're looking for that creativity, that energy, that pace, that, you know, to give us both quality but also width and depth to our attack.
Do you enjoy that side of the job at all?
It's an important part of it. I mean, obviously I don't enjoy the side of it where you're telling players they're not part of your plans for next year. That was extremely difficult when you're in a full-time environment, especially with young players who their careers, you know, but we never made rash decisions with any player. You know, when we were full-time, we always considered, are they improving? Are they going to grow? Can they give us something next year? And you could always carry 1 or 2 players that could grow into the team. And I think we've got some players that can do that, but ultimately we have to be fair to them. I think this year we've carried a couple of young players that maybe played a part last season, not played a part here, and it would be unfair of us if they're not going to get enough football, enough opportunity to play. They need to go out and play men's football, go out and learn the game and grow. Being a bit part player at this level is probably not the best choice for some of them. So, but no, from our point of view, meeting players, getting to know players, building the team, it can be exciting, it can be enjoyable, but the proof will be bringing the right quality and the right characters into the club, working with them in pre-season, and then when we start seeing matches here in pre-season, we'll see the fruits of that work. And if the fruits are there, then I'll be enjoying that side of it.
What do you envisage in terms of a timetable, if you like? When would you think about getting the players back to start doing some work with them? Do you do any work in between as well? Or?
No, we've talked about little get-togethers, even if it is only just to introduce players to each other, talk about diets and what they should be doing over the summer. I think that definitely you've got to be on top of that side of it. These are players we know we're going to start our pre-season. When we were full-time, there was players that we couldn't trust in the summer, or we knew they'd come back overweight or underfit, and we bring them back earlier than others. But I think we have to trust that the players we're committing to, and they're committing to us, are very good professionals, and that they'll be back in pre-season in reasonable shape. So from our point of view, like any club, we'll be considering a 6-week pre-season. We'll probably come back the last Tuesday of June, have a couple of weeks training, getting to know each other, getting to a good feel of the team, and then kick off around the 9th of July with our first pre-season game. And we've got some nice fixtures lined up for the Saturdays after that. And then I just want to find the right balance in terms of midweek games, because this year I think it's not going to be about trialists and trying people out. It will be about getting a core group of 12, 14, 16 players together, and starting pre-season with them and build them into a team, and then adding 1 or 2 as we go along. But the pre-season's all about the players we've already got committed, building them into a team. I think we can't be having game after game and letting people just figure it out for themselves. We need to coach them, we need to build a team, we need to have tactical options, we need if you like, width and depth in terms of the options on the bench, and understand how we're going to go about it. And that was the secret north, which we had 2 or 3 different ways of playing, so we could adapt to losing and winning in equal measure and see results out. And it served us well in the FA Cup, it served us well in the league up to Christmas. So I'd like to get that kind of dynamic within this group.
You've always nurtured young talent, and we saw maybe a little nod to that today with Adam Etches coming on for a cameo at the end, and he almost scored as well, didn't he, with a late goal at the Cheadle End, which would have been a fantastic moment for him. But still a part of your plans to nurture young talent? You've talked a lot about experienced players, but you want young blood in there as well? Well,
that's me day. I'm not going to give up my day job. That's my day job, is helping these players out. And obviously the 2 have merged today. We've seen the under-18s parading the cup today, and it was nice for our fans to, if you like, it's the taste of the potential. I think what the last 2 managers have done is perhaps maybe gone one way or the other, and I think we perhaps were too young under Al, and it was too time consuming to grow a good young team, whereas with Neil we went perhaps for too much experience and there was no growth in the side. In fact, they were unlikely in the following season, given their age profile, of being less equipped for this level. And my day job is about building those players and working really hard with Alan Lord to make sure that we can bridge the gap from development football to performing on this stage. But I think there's going to be people out there that are really excited about the youth at the club and the development club. But ultimately, my first task now is deliver on the pitch, and that means experienced players, quality players, ready-made players, but allowing a little bit of scope for growers within that group. And like I said, my first priority is making sure the first team's right. I think when you're in the league and you've got that time to develop players, a little bit like Alex Ferguson, disappointed with the kind of quality that you bring in for expensive money. His first 3 years were mediocre, and then the young players come forward and he had 10 years of success, not just 1 year of success. But we will see 1 or 2 players come through here that will grow through our academy, will pick up and they'll shine here in our reserves and grow into a first team players. But ultimately we want to start next season with a team with experience, quality, athleticism and passion and mental strength to go and see the season out as real contenders for promotion.
Well, listen, it's always good to talk to you. Just finally, do you get any time? I know you're a big family man. You believe in your work-life balance. Will you get any time with Hazel and the kids to have a break over the summer?
Oh, of course. Really, I should be during the week. It's the other jobs to take more time than this one. But no, there's very few small opportunities where you can meet players and talk to players, and and the kids have been around and respectful of the phone calls I've had to make, the radio interviews, the bits and pieces that go on. But no, I think there will be time and place when you do get to enjoy that. I'd be a fool to say. I enjoy my family life, I enjoy my work, and like you do have to find the right balance between all aspects of your life. And I think there'll definitely be a period when I'll have a break mentally and physically. But the next 2 or 3 weeks will be fairly intense, sealing things, and then we'll be, if you haven't got them done by then, we're probably looking at players who will be circulating around pre-season. So a lot of work to be done, make sure we're in a good position to start pre-season, all the planning in place, have a break, and then really step up everything come June in preparation for a good pre-season, so that we start the season as well as perhaps we did at Northwich last season.
I can't wait for it to come round. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you so much. James Gannon joining us live on Pure 107.8 FM.